Hey, hello fans and friends, here's Bob's Barn Workshop today. Well, you guys all know that I'm a woodworker. So I finally made a purchase, there's today's mail, a purchase from Rockler that I've been wanting for years. Instead of adjusting the router in my router table by turning the body of the router, which is very, very crude. My old Porter cable motor is great, but it's gotten galled and it doesn't turn well in the base. So they sent me a 10% coupon and I ordered a router lift. Well, I already have a Rockler router table, so I know that this will fit the hole that's already there. And this is the kind that has like a micrometer dial on it, and you put a crank in it. And you can jack it up and down, you can jack it all the way up, change the bit. You don't ever have to reach in and take your router out. So we're just doing a little unboxing right now today of the Rockler SL router lift. It was like 250 bucks, 10% off, $25 off. Then with shipping it was back up to almost 250 again, but it looks like what I really want. Packing material in here. I don't know exactly how it's attached. This whole thing comes out in one piece. Of course it's going to fall all over my antique dining table. Very graceful. Okay, let's put it on its side. Just drag it out. There you go. Use your head, Bob. Oh, it's got some really nice heavy-duty cardboard blocking in there. Seems like something I could reuse for something. Don't know what. All right. So here we are. Got some big screws. Not sure what those are for yet. But there it is. And this is the snap lock that you push so you can get your disc right out. And if you need a bigger one, you have to order different ones. So all this really does is you put your key in here. And it's all the way up. So to go down 3/64ths, 1/32, 1/64th. You can see the screw turning the body here. And it rides on these long, smooth rods with very tight bushings, so it's not going to twist around. And you clamp your router right in here. And you can see it has the clamps, and I ordered the one for the Porter cable router that I have, the 690 I believe it is. And so you set it so you can crank it all the way up through the top, change your bit right here. And I've got to read the instructions. But there's several screws there, maybe to clamp it in. There might be some clamps in there. I don't really see any tabs of any kind. So I don't know what those do. They're far enough in from the hole that they're not resting on, there's little screws on the bottom of the table that come up through that you adjust this perfectly flush with the top of the table by tightening the screws from the bottom to true it up. But that's all there is to that, guys, for right now. A little unboxing, you get a really nice catalog or instruction book here. That is it for now. We'll see you on another one. Maybe we'll do an installation video. Alright, God bless, take care. So here we are, we're out in the shop, and I couldn't wait, you know. This is my old router plate. And it should just lift right out of here, I think. Oh no, the rod is attached to it, duh. Make sure it's unplugged, which it is. I built a box, a dust collection box. Nice and sunny in here. With a little door that just drops in there, and my dust collection comes out of the side, and it comes to a Y back here and sucks through this hole also. Really, I have no dust from this dust collector when my with that dust collection system. So back to this top here. So push the router up and out. Pull in some slack. Oops, sitting on the wire. I've got a great big variac here to adjust the speeds. Yes, as I thought, this does not have any bolt downs in it, so I'll have to make some. But this is my old 3/8 plate. I hope this one isn't too big, or I'm going to have to route this out. I am. This isn't going to fit, probably. So I'm going to have to route the top. So before I can do anything, I'm going to have to do that. So I can't do this tonight, but what I'll do is I'll measure that plate. I'll just use the plate and trace it out. Dang, I thought it was going to fit. It says Rockler right on this table. Must be an older one. This must be for a newer one. And maybe that'll give me room to put the bolts in it. But what I'll have to do is take the adjustment screws out. It's got to be a little bit deeper. And what's the radius on that? That looks like a 1/2 inch radius. I'll just set I'll make a frame. Drop the router thing in. Right around. And recut the hole. And then once I bolt it down, it won't move anyway. So I have installed my 1/2 inch straight cutting bit into my good old DeWalt router. I have my handy calipers here. And that's 415. So I'm going to make it a hair more than that. Not a whole lot more. Because I want the screws to work, to level it. So I'm just eyeballing across this dude. Okay, I gave it about a 32nd of an inch over. Now what I was saying is this should be square all the way around. So I need to figure out with my dial caliper here, that is 2722. Let's see if the other is the same. Not quite. It's not quite perfectly centered. See, it touches there. Misses by a poontang there. But I don't think it needs to be that super accurate. Anyway, so we got two, which that doesn't mean much to me, but we need to make the frame twice that wider. I'm going to use my calculator here. I don't have my phone with me. I do have a calculator though. 27 point 2722. Okay. So we're going to multiply 2.722 times 2 equals 5.444. So that's how much wider and longer than this the inside of the frame has to be for my router to ride inside of it. And it has to be nice and square. So can I get out the 5, 4, there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 44. And I haven't got anything big enough to measure the router. This cannot skid around in there or else it'll screw your cuts all up, right? If you're using the fence anyway. That's 11 3/4. And that's 8 1/4. I'm going to write that down. 11 1/4 by 8 1/4, so it's 11.25 by 8.25. Now we got to add 5.44 to each one of those. Okay, you following? Because I'm not using if I had a little collar to go on here, a guide bit of some sort, I could do this with cutting a hole in something. Now I could still do that. I could cut a hole, but the hole won't be as accurate as taking a frame like this. And what I'll do is I'll take like this 1/2-inch plywood and I'll cut it to fit inside each other, and then I'll just put little pieces on the end. I'll patch it together so I can adjust it before I finally screw it. Maybe I'll make a test cut. And you know what I mean? I'll just cut 4 of these to the right lengths, plus whatever their length is, and then take a little patch like this on each corner and lay it where they cross over so I can put screws in here and adjust it to get it perfect. Alright. And that won't have to be, these boards can be just close, just 3 inches wider on each end. Actually more than that because they gotta be bigger than the hole, so let's figure that out. Okay, those screws are out. So if you're following along the plan, this is kind of what I'm making. Let's move my jig out of the way here for a second. The new lift. Don't want to break that, do we? So, when I tack these things together like so, I should be able to run my router around in here. And that'll be a little longer. These are going to be longer like this. I guess I could just put one corner together square. moment of truth is here. I'm going to make sure this doesn't kick over on me. I am going to as I said, I'm going to make a shallow cut at each end first, and then we'll measure between them. So I'm just going to make a dip both ways, and that way I don't ruin the table. Now what did I say it needed to be? Okay, the measurements are right here. This needs to be 11 and a quarter. So I'm going to start at 2 inches, so that'd be 13 and a quarter by 8 and a quarter, so I'm going to start, that'll be 10 and a quarter. We got it. We're going to go around once to cut the stuff, and then we'll set it to depth. You still running for you? Says we got 15 minutes left. That's plenty. I'm going to turn on my ceiling dust collector. Yeah, on. And I'm going to hook this box back up and turn this on. Plug that one off. With the lid. I got that all clamped down, as you can see. I readjusted this end. I just moved it out a ½ inch, recentered it, eyeballed a ¼ inch extra on that end, on each edge. So we're just going to do this again, I hope. Let's see how we fit now. I'm really happy with that. All right, guys, we got to set her back up here by depth. And then we'll do the final cut. We'll have to plow out a bunch. It's 420. I'm dying here. A smidge more. All right. Lock and load. Load and lock. nub down that one hole, and I kind of like it. A nub? Alright, let's see how she fits. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I got some flash over here. I gotta go around this again. Oh, we wanted to fit tight, didn't we? Perfect. It's just a hair below. Well, there you go, guys. We fixed her. We put those screws back in to flush that all up again. And we now have a router lift. And that's just awesome. Man, it does. It's like pressed cardboard. Well, you want this leading edge to be just a smidge low, but it's just low, just barely low all the way around. I'm pretty damn proud of that, guys. You think? All right. Router lift. All right, guys and gals. I was able to reuse the same holes for those screws that I took out for height adjustment. And all I did is I took my square and I laid it over the edges here as I adjusted the screws from the bottom. Installing the router in the table, in the thing, you just loosen this bolt up right here and weasel your router body down in till it just misses the lid popper thingy here. There's a little lever over there you don't want to hit. And that allows you to bring, oops, your router all the way to the top. So you can get your wrenches on your nut, tighten your bit in, whatever bit you want, lower it back down, pop in your plate, whatever bit you got in here, and of course make the adjustments you need with very great precision. And this will not move. There's enough friction on the bolt that it can't turn with vibration. And this router is never going to vibrate out of here. I'm not going to put the screws in it right now. If I have to, they just clear the edge of the wood here on the bottom. I'll just put a bolt through, a flathead bolt with a big washer on it and a nut so that it catches the corner of the wood inside. And then it'll be fixed. But that's it, guys. Rockler SL router lift. Fit my old 690 router perfectly. We had to do a little finagling around here to cut the hole bigger. But what's done is done. My old router plate and router body is over here. And I don't know what I can do with this. I guess I'll save it. I don't know what I'll save it for because I really can't use it on this anymore. But as you can see, this was a Rockler table. I just don't know why it didn't fit. Because something different, I guess. Yeah, it's something different, dude. But I'll show you my fence. Now what I did is I put some screws right in here so that my wrenches would hang right here all the time and I'd know where they were, because I'm good at losing stuff. So I always keep my router wrenches right there. One's for the DeWalt and the other one's for the table. I use the DeWalt a lot for just hand routing bigger stuff, and I really want to get a little, I don't use a slot. I do have a smaller fence for this somewhere. I don't even remember where I put it. I'll have to make a pocket for that to fit in. And here's my big fence. Where's my big fence? Oh, here's my big fence. I made my own fence. So if I had really wide boards I wanted to route, I had something that was more straight, stable, and it works just fine. And this router fence doesn't have to be square to the router bit. So it really doesn't have to. Got a couple of fingerboards I made here that I can clamp on to hold stuff down. This one actually I put on the front of the table when I got wood coming across this way. I've got a smaller one that I put on the top. And I just cut that at a 45-degree angle out of, I think this one's just pine. But it makes like, it jams. That's how a fingerboard works. I got a couple more around here, but you get the idea. I got a factory one here that came with my paper fence, but you really have to crank it to make it fit this groove. It does. Well, it doesn't. What it does is it expands this slotted metal, but it's a little bit too loose for this, so I just use that on the table saw. Alright guys, that's it for the router table. I am not sponsored by anybody. I wasn't sponsored by Rockler. I bought this with my own money. I just wanted to show you guys that it's well worth the investment of $250 to not have to climb under your router table all the time and fidget and fiddle around trying to make adjustments. I'm getting old. I don't like to crawl around on my knees. It hurts. All right. I'm a little hot and sweaty right standing in front of the camera. All right. God bless, guys. We'll see you later.